Hey Stitch Cutie, it's Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and it is time to make blocks 4 and 5 of our Gnome block of the month. Now this is your second box in this series, and the house is block 4, and this cute little pink gnome girl is our block 5. So as always, you have your instructions. It instructs you to cut your 2 pieces of fabric. So I've gone on and done that. Isn't this such a fun mode of grunge? I just love it. It's got that green texture in it. When you open your box, of course, you also have all your pre-fused laser cut applique pieces. I've gone on and made a little pile of all my pieces, and I've peeled the backing of the Heat and Bond light off, so they're totally ready to go. A few other things to talk about that we need. Before we get started, you want to make sure you have all of your thread colors. So the threads we're using for this block are really fun. So again, they're always the sulky 40 weight rayons that we use. We have the dark brown, which is 1130. This favorite butterfly gold that I use all the time is number 0567. Of course, white, 1001. Then we have our peach, 1019. The silver gray is 1218. This beautiful light pink is 1225. And then the hot pink, because she's our hot pink girl, this is number 1307. So per usual, the things that I like to have ready, I have, of course, my hoop ready with my tearaway stabilizer. I have my Steady Betty. I have my handy dandy steam fast travel iron. Love this little thing. And then underneath, I like to keep my rotary mat and my rotary cutter. And then I have my 3M transport tape to help me secure my fabric into my hoop. So without further ado, load the file for block 4, which is our little house. And you're gonna load actually a brown thread, because that's going to be the first color we stitch with, so you can actually use brown throughout all of the placement lines. So load 1130 dark brown and do the very first step of the file for block 4. Okay, so that first step, just like if you remember from the first box, the first 3 blocks we made, we have this big T, right? So that's going to tell us where to put our fabric. So the first thing we're going to do, you have your fabric facing right side up to you. And it is 10 inches wide, 14 inches tall. You're gonna take it, again, right sides together, fold it in half. And I just rough cut this. So there we go. And then you're gonna fold it in half one more time the opposite way. And what this is gonna do is give you a nice 90-degree angle right here with the center to line up. So I'm just gonna give it some pressing. And now throughout the video, you'll notice I turn my hoop sideways. It's only so I can stay nicely in the camera angle for you, okay? So I have my piece of fabric. The 2 folded edges are right here. I'm gonna line it up right here. Perfect. And we'll open it up. Make sure I keep it straight. We give you way more than enough fabric, so you'll have plenty to trim with. And then we just open it up. And that way we know our fabric is perfect in our hoop. So I'm just gonna take some tape and anchor this down. There we go. And you just use however much tape you want. Some days I feel like a lot of tape, some days I don't. It just depends on how I feel. So you do what makes you comfortable. You know, here at Stitches of Love, we don't believe in quilt police. So as long as you're happy with your project, we're happy for you. Okay, so again, we're gonna leave that brown thread. I'm gonna put this back on, and the machine is gonna give us our first 2 applique outlines. Okay, so check it out. We have our first 2 pieces outlined. So I'm gonna lay this in front of me. I am gonna press just a little right here, because remember when I pressed my T to get it in place, I just wanna make sure I iron that out before I put my pieces in place. There we go. So now it doesn't matter which piece you put down first, because none of them overlap. So we're gonna put our little window. Isn't this the cutest fabric? This is called Mustard Swiss Dots. It's from Riley Blake, super cute color. All right, and then we're gonna put our little gnome house right in place. And so again, with the big piece, I always like to lay it out, make sure it's perfectly lined up, but then I'm actually gonna start ironing from one side to the other. So once I know I'm happy with the location, there we go. So I'm just gonna start, how about right here? Doesn't really matter. And then I am gonna do my other little bottom. There we go. And just work your way around, making sure it's lined up everywhere. There we go. Okay, let's put it back on. Keep that brown thread on your machine. And the machine is going to do then like the little molding around the door, and it's going to give us the outline for our roof. Okay, so we have those two outlines. So let's put our pieces in place. So again, right now, these two pieces don't overlap, so it doesn't matter which piece you put first. So I'm just going to make sure I have it laid out nicely. And again, with a long piece like this, just start at one edge and work your way around so you make sure that you get it nice and in position. Perfect. So let's start on this side. Why not? I started on the other side with the other piece. There we go. Y'all just hear in the background, Button's laid down by my feet and went, I think she's bored with me. The past few days I filmed so much, she's just laying back here. But she went to daycare today and played with all of her friends. She had a good time. If any of y'all live near Tallahassee, you have to take your doggy to doggy days. 2 of our very best friends own doggy days. And it's just so cute in there. I was telling them this morning, actually, what I love about it is that a lot of doggy daycares, they kind of smell like a doggy daycare. And I don't know what they do. I told them, I was like, sometimes when I pick up Button, she smells like powder fresh. Turns out they really do spray the dogs so they don't stink. I thought that was adorable. So she really does smell good when I pick her up from daycare. Okay, and here's a little trick. If you're ever putting a piece in place and you think you got it a little out of line, just use little tweezers or something, and you can just, while it's still hot, gently coax it into place, because I realized I got that just not quite on that line how I wanted it. Okay, so again, keep that brown thread on, and the machine is going to applique all the cute little dots, or it's going to give us the outline, excuse me, for all the cute little dots on the roof and then our door. Okay, check it out. Our little gnome house is about to look like a gnome house because we're ironing on the very last pieces. So let's put the front door on. So cute. This is just like, honestly, I love this quilt. And we have some really cute quilts and we have really cute ones coming out. But I have to tell you, there's just something about gnomes that make me just really happy. I love them. So I'm so glad you're doing this quilt along with me and along with Mom and all your other quilting friends. So now what we're going to do is just put our cute little dots in place. And again, as always, they just fit right inside the piece. There we go. And you do have some circles that are bigger, so you're going to have to pay attention when you put your circles down that you have the right circle in the right spot. There we go. And I know I say this every video, but it only takes a few seconds to iron your pieces down. You don't have to, like, I know there's some fusibles where, gosh, you have to iron for like 30 seconds or something crazy. These, easy peasy. There we go. And see, like I'm going to scoosh him a little. There you go. See? It's a very forgiving fusible. I love it. There we go. And then our last little circle. Gosh, this was fast, wasn't it? For being such a big block. There we go. Everything's ironed into place. So we're going to keep that brown on for one last step, which is all of the fun buttonhole stitching. So it's going to go around the house, around the door and the window, and it's going to do the circles. And then we'll be back for one color change to do the little mustard roof. Okay, check it out. We have awesome brown stitches. Mom just came back here and saw how perfect the circles were. She was like, golly, those are perfect. So yeah, they are. Ha. All right, so now she actually just said that she wished she would have stitched her roof in brown. Let me show you on the cover of the picture. She stitched it in the mustard, but just putting it out there. If you want to leave the brown on and do your roof with that brown thread to get some contrast, you definitely can. But I'm going to do like the pattern says and like how I digitized it. And I'm going to put this gold on, which is 0567. And I hope you do the same. It'll be fun. You should comment in the video and tell me if you're going to stay with gold or brown. All right, so let's get going. Yay! So in no time at all, your cute little gnome house is totally stitched. So let me show you. Perfect. I just love it. So now it's time to trim, which is super easy if you remember from last month. Let me just get my tape off because I did kind of tape it to my hoop. This is a not fun part of the video, right? Where you like watch me take off tape. But hopefully you're sewing right along with me. So you're doing the same thing. You're getting your stuff out of the hoop. All right, there we go. So now let me set my hoop aside. And you can remove your stabilizer. There we go. And I'm going to show you, I'm sure you remember from last month, how to trim. It's super easy because we give you the full size placement guides and everything, but I'm going to go on and show you. Okay, so scissors. Remember where that T is? You're just going to trim that thread. There we go. And a little bit of that T is right up here. Be careful, don't cut your fabric. Be real sad if you did, wouldn't you? Okay, so now to trim it, right? So we have our piece and we have our full size placement guide. What we're gonna do is put that in front of us. We're gonna line up our little house. Now you might wanna use a light pad for this part, but I'm just gonna do it right here because I can see for myself where it goes. And you just kind of lift up and make sure you're in the right place. Sorry about my head getting in the camera. There we go. Okay, this looks perfect. So now what you can do is take your ruler and you're going to trace the outside line, right? The outside bigger line is the one you're going to trace. That inner line is actually just telling you where your seams are going to be. So sorry again, my head is just coming straight in to the shot. And I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to take my friction pin, and I'm just going to mark right here for my trim. There we go. Ooh, I wiggled a little. Uh-oh. Okay, and then I'm going to go up here to this corner and get my thing totally in place. Oh, no, I'm crooked. Let's go right there. Right there. And you can use, I know you probably can't see on the camera, but I can see that inner line too. So I'm making sure that my 1/4 inch line is lined up on that as well. And that's how I know I have it perfectly in place. So we'll just go all the way. There we go. And now I just need to make this side of the line. So I'll keep it totally in place. There we go. Am I still on the camera? Yeah, I am. Barely, but I'm in there. There we go. And finish this line off. There we go. Oh, just a hair off. There we go. All right, so that's going to be my trim line with my rotary cutter. Let me show it to you. I'm just going to cut right on that line. See? And then I'm going to have a perfect block to set aside and save until it's time to finish the quilt. So again, very important, outside line. That's how we're going to trim. Okay, cool. So we're done with our little gnome house, and now it's time in the video to work on our cute little girl. So let's go on and load the file for block 5, which is our girl. I'm going to put that medium tearaway stabilizer in my hoop, and I'm going to load a white thread. The white 1001 Sulky 40 weight rayon, I'm going to load that in my machine, and I'm going to do that first step, which is the T on the stabilizer. Okay, so now that we've done the first step for block 5, we have a white T on the back of our stabilizer. So just like we did with the other block, we're going to take our fabric. You have the right side facing up to you. You are going to fold it in half, and then you're going to take it and fold it in half again. Just like this, and I'm going to give it a nice press. And again, you have more fabric than you need. We'll trim away the extra at the end, so it's okay if it's not perfectly square when you fold it. Okay, so take your hoop. I turn it sideways so it fits in the camera shot for you. You're going to take your fabric. You have your folded edge here and your folded edge here. You're going to put it right along this T, and you just unfold it this way. There we go. And we're gonna unfold up. Perfect. Look at that. So now it's time to tape in place. So I'm just gonna put some tape right there, some at the bottom. There we go. And some tape up here. I have to say, y'all, I have on a long sleeve shirt because it was a little nippy outside today. And now as I'm filming, I'm melting. I'm gonna go turn the air on. I'm hot. Okay, so I'm going to keep the white thread on my machine. I'm going to put this back on, and the machine is now going to outline the larger of the hearts. It's going to give us both of her hands, and then her 2 legs and her 2 shoes. Okay, so I know it's probably a little hard to see that white thread on the camera, but I have my pieces, and you have yours and your hoop. So let's start ironing. The first thing I'm going to do, make sure you don't have any fuzz, I'm going to iron my little tee out. I should do that before I put the first step on after I have it taped in place, but I seem to never remember. It doesn't hurt anything, so. Okay, now I have all my pieces in my sweet little jar. You'll notice you have 2 of each of the whites. That's for a reason. We'll get to that in a second. So let's see what pieces we have stitched. We have both shoes, and we have both legs, and we have a heart. Normally I have my pieces somewhat in order, but I didn't do that. I just plopped them all in my jar. Okay, so let's start ironing. The first thing I'm going to iron is my sweet little heart. It's a sweetheart. There we go, and make sure you have it lined up. This is a fun fabric. This is a Zen Chic spotted. It's a basic from Moda. I just really like it. And then we have our 2 legs. This is that 1/8 inch stripe from Riley Blake. You'll notice every gnome has the stripes, checks, Swiss dots. It's really fun. And then make sure we have it here. There we go. And now our 2 little shoesies. Put that right in place. There we go. Bloop. And this one. She is so cute. Have you seen those little gnome gardens people are doing? I secretly want to do that, like on my deck or out in my yard. But buttons might eat them. And all the other weird little critters that visit my yard. Okay, so now we're going to put this back on still with the white thread. It's going to, the machine will give us another heart. It'll give us her arms. Oh, I didn't iron her hands on. You guys, I bet you were probably saying that. Sitting at home, you were like, Brittany, iron your hands on. I almost forgot them. So let's put those on. There we go. Can't have a gnome without hands. How would she eat the cupcakes from the cupcake tree? That's, by the way, my favorite block is the cupcake tree. In case y'all didn't know that from all the other videos where I talk about the cupcake tree. There we go. Okay, so now when you put it on, now that you have all your pieces ironed on, you're gonna have your little heart, you're gonna have your 2 arms, and then it's gonna be the little white pieces down here. I'm gonna show you how we double line those. Okay, so those new outlines are there for us. It's time to put our pieces in place. So the first piece we're gonna put down is the little heart from my bucket. There we go. How cute is that, you guys? Mom doesn't like it when I say you guys, but I say it a lot. I should say ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Okay, now let's do her cute arms. Just loving the pink. How fun is this? All right, so we have her right arm. There we go. Gosh, I have to tell you, my nails are looking bad. Mom just got like new nails. And I'm like, you know what? I should have gone with you to do that. I actually, a couple years ago, asked the bookkeeper if that could be a business expense, and they said no. But I really did ask. Okay, and now remember I talked about the white pieces, how we're gonna double line them. So you'll notice you'll have 2, 2, and 2 of the same piece. So what we're gonna do is double line this, because with white, if we put that over it just by itself, you might be able to see the pink through. Not might, you would be able to see the pink through. And we don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is lay one piece down, right in place. And then that second piece, just lay it right over it. Easy peasy, double lined. There you go. So you're not gonna notice, you know, the fabric underneath as much. Look at that. Magic trick. I love it. If you're double lining something at home, like you're not using a laser cut kit, so it's either it's not double lined already for you in the kit, Then all you have to do is just, you know, before you iron your, trace the piece on your fusible, but before you iron that to your fabric, just iron a piece of muslin to the back of your fabric and then put it on. That's all you have to do. But this, what we gave you, neither one of these are muslin. They're both the Riley Blake white. There we go. You just want to make sure you get it lined up nicely. There we go. And wait till you see the little buttonhole stitches on these. Oh my God, so cute. Okay, and now, any other pieces before I put it back on? Because you know before, almost missed a piece. Nope, that's it. Okay, so we're going to put this back on, and now it's going to give us her little body. Okay, so now it's time to put her little belly on. She's so cute. I just love this pink check. The more I'm like doing this, the more I'm just really digging the pink today, I have to tell you. The next one we do is the one flying the kite. That's really cute too. They're all just so cute. I love it. I really do. How can you make this and not be happy, right? That's what we always say. Stitchesoflovequilting.com is your happy place. Okay, so there you go. So now we're going to put this back on. The machine's going to give us her little face, and it's going to give us her little love note. Or it could be a clutch. You get to decide. Okay, so let's iron these two pieces on. We're slowly building her. She layers a lot in the same place. So she does have a lot of little steps of ironing. But that's okay, little pink girl. We don't mind, do we? So we just put her little face right in place. And now we're going to put her little clutch here. Well, I think it's really meant to be a love note. But I like to think that she's going to a little Valentine's date. And she has her little pink clutch with her. So cute. Okay, so now we'll put this back on. And then the machine is going to give us an outline for her little braids and the bows in her hair. And her cute little nose. Okay, so let's give our little girl some hair. She's starting to come to life. Okay, so we have her two little braids, and they are not the exact same braids. You want to make sure you put the right one in the right place. So I'm just going to make sure before I iron. Yep, I got it right the first time. That's lucky. Okay, so I'm just going to iron this in place. It's kind of funny when I'm filming, like that's sort of when I when I make the most mistakes. So when I have a small victory, like getting them in the right order, that makes me happy. As I say that now, watch, I have to put down two bows and watch me not have those the right way. Let's see. Okay, that's that bow. Okay, I kind of cheated because I looked at them and I could tell that that one's a little pokier. Okay, and now this little bow in place. How cute. I wore bows in my hair. I used to braid my hair all the time when I was a kid. Well, I didn't braid it. Mom braided it for me. And I had the cutest little thing hanging in my room. It was like a little girl's face, and she had little hair made of yarn, and that's where I kept all my bows. I grew up in the South, y'all. What can I say? I had a lot of bows in my hair. Okay, and now when we put this back on, the machine is going to give us an outline for her hat, so she doesn't look kind of headless like she does right now. Okay, our little girl is about to get so stinking cute because we're going to put on her little Swiss dotted hat. So cute. Just love it. And I know I said this last month, I think. I really think these would make great pillows. So use your pattern and just trace your pieces and do another one and make a matching pillow. I mean, that's just the cutest. We really should kit that up for y'all. So fun. There we go. Okay, so we just have one more piece to iron on. We're gonna put this on and the machine is gonna give us the little outline for her scalloped heart. So sweet. Okay, so we're gonna do that same magic double line trick on the heart. So remember, we have two hearts, right? So we're just going to iron one down. Aren't you glad you didn't have to cut out that scallop? A little scallop on the heart? A scallop? A scallop. A scallop. A scallop you eat, right? And a scallop is what this is? Sounds funny to me right now. Scallop, scallop. There we go. Oh, so cute. Okay, so now the fun part starts. The machine is gonna start doing all the fun buttonhole stitching. So we're gonna leave that white on for this one more step, and the machine is gonna do the cutest little buttonhole stitch on the hearts and her little socks. Okay, let's take a look at what's stitched. There's our sweet little heart, and look at her little socks, they're perfect. So cute. Okay, so now we're gonna load the peach, which is 10.19, and the machine is gonna do just around her nose and a little bit of her face and her hands. So now our sweet little girl has her little face and hands stitched. So we're gonna put on the next color, which is the silver gray 12.18, and the machine is gonna do her little braids. All right, so now your sweet little girl has cute braids. How fun. So we have 2 more color changes left. We are gonna do 12.25, this really pretty like baby pink, and that is going to stitch the outside. The machine will stitch the outside of this heart. Okay, so our girl is almost done. All we have to do now is put 13.07, this really fun hot pink, and the machine is gonna stitch everything else for us. Okay, everybody, take a look at the cutest little pink gnome girl ever. I love it. Okay, fun. So let's trim it just like we did the other. We're gonna take it out of the hoop. And let me get all my tapes off. There we go. There we go. Just a few more. Then we're gonna take out the stabilizer, and just like we trimmed the little house, we're gonna trim our little gnome girl. There we go. Okay, so get it out of your hoop. Let me put my hoop away. There we go. And we're just gonna pull our stabilizer away. There we go. And I know, again, this isn't the fun part to watch, but hopefully you've been stitching alongside me this whole time. I just absolutely love when we get phone calls and y'all say you stitch with me. That makes me happy, because that's what I want to have happen. I want these tutorials to be super helpful and really fun. There we go. There we go. And then again, where we have that little T, you may have to trim before you can pull all your stabilizer away. Be careful when you do that. Don't cut your fabric. You'll be real sad. So we're just gonna find that the T, boop, and we're gonna trim those threads away. Let me get a little bit more right here. There we go. Okay, so now, oh, look, I almost missed that whole piece of stabilizer. Yikes. There we go. You don't want a crunchy quilt. I leave my stabilizer like in my zipper bags and my mug rugs all the time. No problem at all. But for something really special like this, I'm taking out my stabilizer. Okay, so just do a double check. Make sure you don't have any threads to trim. And now you're going to get your full-size placement guide for your little gnome girl. And just like with the house, we're going to use the outer line as our guide. So we're going to put her in place. Let's get her everywhere in place. I'm sorry, my head's going to come in for a second. And make sure I have her nice and in position. And so, again, you can do a Pigma pin or your friction pin, whichever you have handy. And we're just going to make sure that our ruler is straight. There we go. And there we go. And then, oh, I moved it. Gosh darn it. There we go. And now, just trace your line. And actually, the block is exactly 8.5, so I'm just gonna position that a little bit. I'm gonna go on and do this side too. There we go. And now we'll come up here to these lines. Make sure I get this nice and square. Whoop. And right along this side. And then finally I'm gonna check right here. There we go. Perfect. Now my cute little girl is done, and so is yours. So let's take a look. I just love her. Isn't she fun? Okay, so in this video we made 2 blocks. we made block 4, which is our fun little house, and block 5, which is the pink little heart gnome girl. So I hope you all had so much fun. Just use your rotary cutter and your ruler to trim right along those lines. Store these blocks in a safe place, and if you're like me, you're already ready to go on and do the next block. So next month we'll get to it. Happy stitching, everyone.